Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2 Pro commentary. And it is going to be a good one today. It is going to be a slugfest of a match, I feel. In the bottom right-hand side of the map, we have none other than the BlizzCon runner-up. It is Reynor, the young Italian player who everyone saw he was coming. Everyone saw that Reynor was going to become really good ever since he was 13 years old and basically beat a StarCraft 2 legend at a DreamHack. And everyone was like, oh my gosh. And his opponent, however, is just... He's been around for a long time. He was incredibly good around when Reynor was first making his first showing. In the top left-hand side of the map, it's INnoVation, the Terran macro machine, one of the greatest StarCraft 2 players of all time, without a doubt. One of the most consistent Terrans. He is so consistent, people literally call him a robot because he doesn't vary that much in his play. And when you've spent years mastering the craft, you kind of get stuck in your ways a little bit. But when it works as well as it does for INnoVation, you can't blame him for just basically playing the same way most of the time. Like, if you can just do your build so well in StarCraft 2 that your opponent will die no matter whether they know how you play or not, there's not a lot they can do about it. So we have got INnoVation, this solid Titan, going up against Reynor, who's very well proven. He proved himself by taking on Serral numerous amount of times. I do feel like most of his big victories came off the back of taking down like big name Zergs, though, like Serral. So I feel like I haven't seen Reynor take on great Terrans enough. And so that's why I'm excited for this match. We already have Reynor going for an early pool. INnoVation, though, showing us that even the best Terrans SCV scout, and that should transcend all the way down to the depths of the ladder, as you should always SCV scout in StarCraft 2 as a Terran in a TvZ, because if we take a look right now, Reynor went for an early pool. I know I kind of rambled a bit, but while that was going on, Reynor went for an early pool to try and throw INnoVation off guard, but since INnoVation SCV scouted, he had a perfect heads up this was coming, so he kept his Reaper back at home, and as a result, Reynor just at a slight deficit. INnoVation even made a Marine, though, for safety, keeping it on the high ground. He can use that to repel the Overlord later on. And yeah, just a solid start for INnoVation, doing what you need to do as a Terran to open up safely, despite Reynor trying to throw a little bit of a curveball at INnoVation. Now we take a look, we've got Hellion production on the way here. INnoVation, by the way, you see that mule fall apart right there. That's because he pulls it off the mineral line right before it expires to save it mining money and dying with it in hand, essentially making you mine out a little bit slower, be even more and more efficient. The best of the best Terran players do that. Only the best Terran players really can do that successfully and consistently. Maru comes to mind. INnoVation does it too, though. I think Bjorn was seen doing it a lot too, but I'm betting most of the really good Terrans out there do it. Now, we see this Reaper scouting out for INnoVation. Probably a good thing when you're playing against someone who's so good as Reynor, but I don't think INnoVation knows too much about Reynor. So, scouting out someone who might be known to be a little bit more aggressive, such as Reynor, is a very wise call, I feel. Now, yeah, as I was saying, yeah, INnoVation just wanting to scout out Reynor, check everything that's going on. We see a Viking on the way here. I'm going to be shooing away this Overlord. I feel like I totally lost my train of thought there, just as that Reaper dived on in, but these Hellions may dive on in too. INnoVation looking to be a little bit aggressive, actually. He's looking to be the aggressive one, not Reynor, as you may expect, by going for some Hellbats, by going for an Armory. And INnoVation is going to be going for Marauders too with this attack, so it's going to be the slow concussive shell Marauders with the Hellbats to buffer for them, making a very surprising but potent combo for the Terran, because the Hellbats, they're so good at buffering, they shut down Zerglings. The Marauders, they can tag Queens, handle Roaches if Roaches would just be starting to trickle out, and I don't even think Reynor knows too much about this attack that's going to be coming his way. So we take a look here right now. The Vikings shooing away the Overlords for scouting. Reynor, I don't think, knows too much about this attack. Look at this. He's building Spore Crawlers instead of units. He's expecting harassment, when in reality, it's just a full-on frontal attack here from INnoVation. Reynor has Lings out, but it is nowhere near enough to contend with these Hellbats, particularly when they're healed by a Medivac. The Vike, or one of those Hellbats, does get sectioned off and killed, so that is actually nice for Reynor, taking care of a couple of those already. However, it looks like the third base will simply go down. Reynor can't do anything to save this, I feel. 5 drones have already fallen. That number is gonna go up. We take a look here. Yeah, INnoVation getting a very strong attack off versus Reynor so far. The Hellbats are probably going to be able to escape here as well. But they're still just pushing forward, though. INnoVation figures it's best to trade out with these sooner rather than later, as Hellbats do lose their efficiency later on. But wow, a great trade here for INnoVation. Reynor is still having to focus on the defense. He lost a hatchery, he lost some drones, he lost countless Zerglings. All the while, INnoVation behind this is macroing up, and this is what makes INnoVation such a darn good Terran player. He doesn't skip a beat with his macro. His money, it's not going to go above 400 minerals most likely. And having that consistency is what makes you really great at StarCraft 2, to be going for your attack, to be microing it, as well as INnoVation did, but then also to be macroing perfectly behind it. That is a sign of an amazing Terran player like INnoVation is. So Reynor could be in a bit of a tough spot. We are 6 minutes into this game, ladies and gentlemen, and for this video we are going to set the like bar high for one of the top Zerg players in the world and one of the top Terran players in the world. Can we try and break 100 likes on this video for a full-on best of 3 between these players? That would be awesome. Show some love to the channel. You guys have really been blowing it out of the water lately. Now, getting back into the game, we see a Liberator harassing at the natural of Reynor. INnoVation also has one moving into the main base. Neither of these are really being contested just yet. We take a look here. That Queen going to be shooting away this Liberator, but mining time has already been denied. The Liberator going to reposition. This could kill the Queen. No, Reynor is microing that Queen, so she does stay alive, but tons of mining time was delayed there. This Liberator may even escape, so dead drones, lost mining time, a bad combo for a Zerg that already lost his third base. We take a look here. Moving further on, the Spire is on the way for Reynor, so he's going to potentially have Mutas to help him sort of nickel and dime his way back into this game, but I don't have a lot of faith in Mutalisk these days. So really the only thing I can see as a plus for Reynor in this game is the fact that he got quicker upgrades than INnoVation. The Zerg player is currently on 1-1 melee upgrades, while INnoVation still is waiting for his 1-1 to come on out. His upgrades were delayed due to going for that early push, whereas Reynor made that early investment. Now, we see INnoVation, though, even with some of the Hellbats still alive, is looking to push on forward. He lacks Combat Shield, he lacks 1-1, but this is still going to be a lethal attack against a Zerg who had his economy stifled so much. Reynor has Baneling speed finish up, so he's going to roll forward with these roly-polies. Hits a lot of the units, the Hellbats are gone, the Marauders absorbed a lot of damage, and INnoVation will be repelled back. A great hold there by the Zerg player. Not an easy thing to do when you've taken so much early economic damage. We see Reynor, he's just trying to buy as much time as he can to try and be as active as he can, so he's spreading creep right in the face of INnoVation because he knows this creep will buy him precious amounts of time. Look at this, creep tumors even got a little cut off there, but Reynor's got those queens out, is respreading the creep, his third base, and his fourth base, not mining just yet, pardon me, but he does have that established, which is a big deal for the Zerg player. If Reynor can keep this base alive, if he can hold maybe 1 or 2 more attacks, he'll be on his road to recovery, on his way to defending the attack that's going to be coming his way. He's got 9 Banelings, a few of them rolling forward, baiting out the Widowmine shots. The rest of the Zerg force going to push forward, and the Widowmines get cleared out. Another great defense for Reynor. However, INnoVation, the monster Terran, not skipping a beat, is pushing down the center, cleaning up that creep. We see these players battling over the creep, while INnoVation is looking to keep the pressure on his opponent. Reynor down on supply still, but staying alive in this game. He's defending on both fronts so far. He's now even squeezing out a few mutas. He's going to have his 2-2 done soon, once again, or his +2 carapace done soon at least, once again ahead of INnoVation on upgrades. Reynor has also been cleaning out the Widowmines every step of the way, it would seem. There's already been 5 Widowmines that have gone down, whereas INnoVation if he had managed to keep those alive, or if Reynor hadn't cleaned them up, INnoVation would have been able to just stay holding on to Reynor and just keep pushing easier. But resetting that Widow Mine count is a very big deal for the Zerg player, for Reynor to keep doing that, because the more Widow Mines there is, the harder it is to micro against them. Reynor, though, even getting some friendly fire on INnoVation's army there. We do take a look. The Muta's now out, can also help repel the Medivacs. This is going to help Reynor shut down INnoVation pushes even harder. And the odd thing about INnoVation's play, he is not really playing necessarily as textbook as he does sometimes, because INnoVation is usually focused on that one big attack at the front, whereas he's basically been doing 2 separate attacks at the different bases, the 3rd and 4th respectively. But Reynor shut them both down. It's kind of that divide and conquer mentality. And that's actually gone very well for Reynor. INnoVation hasn't been able to go for his big, say, 2-2 push just yet. That could be coming down the way, though, as we do see the Terran player about to have those 2-2 upgrades. He's got still a healthy amount of supply compared to Reynor, up about 30 supply to the Zerg player. INnoVation has a lead. Raynor's been playing great and not making any mistakes, but from that early deficit, he's having a tough time coming back. We already see INnoVation trying to push up this ramp. Widow Mine's getting burrowed up. Going to be giving Reynor a lot of grief. He's going to need a lot of finesse to deal with this army. We're seeing Reynor go for one of his big counterattacks. However, INnoVation has enough production there to deal with this. Now those Lings aren't here to help defend versus this. Widow Mines get baited out for the most part by Reynor. There's a few of them left, but he's already dealt with a good number of them. Raynor's going to pull the trigger on this. Banelings roll forward, going to kill most of the army of INnoVation. The Medivacs are being repelled. More Banelings rolling forward while the Mutas are going to be setting to work on the Medivacs. But INnoVation with such good macro comes in with his reinforcements, and he could be about to end the Zerg here. Raynor's army has really worn thin a lot. There's not a ton of Lings out for him. There's a handful of Banelings. 22 Banelings are on the way, but still, Reynor hasn't been able to catch up in supply just yet. This has been a great TvZ from INnoVation. Getting the lead and not letting it go is something very important. I mean, Reynor has been playing pretty much perfect, but so has INnoVation. So we take a look here. 3 drones do go down to this attack. Reynor is going to have to clean this up sooner rather than later, as he can't afford to lose this 4th base. He's getting some counter damage on INnoVation's side of the map with the Mutas. However, that means he has to defend with just the Lings and Banes. Looks like he will be doing that, though. So Reynor, getting out on the map, is evening up the supply a little bit. He's now only behind 10 army supply. He's stifled INnoVation's production a little bit. He lost 9 of his own drones. However, he kept the 4th base alive, which is the important part. Reynor, also such a good Zerg, knows to replace those critical drones. He's also got up a 5th base amidst all this chaos. He's harassing with the Mutas still, even using a Contaminate on the barracks. That's kind of just BM to INnoVation, like, I just killed your add-on, and I'm preventing you from making anything out of it too. So Reynor just showing us how good of a Zerg he is. The Muta's still out on the map. We're going to have to be careful, but look at this. They're going to potentially get this sensor tower. That's a nice pick-off. Sensor towers are not free for the Terran. However, we take a look. INnoVation looking to push on in towards the 5th base. There is not a lot of creep here for the Zerg player. Yeah, the Banelings, more and more are being produced. These Banes are going to roll forward. Good connections on those Marines there. There's not that much Terran, despite what the supply numbers would tell you. A lot of it is in Medivacs. Those Banelings going off creep aren't trading too efficiently, but then we do take a look. The Mutas are going to be able to chase these Medivacs down. Reynor manages to hold on. The supply is evened up by a great deal. And Raynor's still staying alive. I mean, he's kept his 5th base alive. His creep still isn't far out. He hasn't been able to replace any of these tumors, so this means INnoVation's going to have the footing for another attack. Reynor may just be better off abandoning this base and, say, expanding towards the north or something like that, while he also goes for this counterattack at the 3rd base. Turrets were set up for INnoVation, but they are not enough to defend versus a flock of Mutas this big. The 5th base of Reynor does look like it will go down. Banelings trading very inefficiently against Thors and Marauders. The Mutas, though, getting a lot of damage done to INnoVation's economy behind this. They're potentially going to catch a Thor here. Looks like they do. A great move from Reynor. His Mutas have been getting some really, really good damage done. However, we take a look. INnoVation continuing on with the push is going to try and take out the 3rd alongside with this 5th base. Banelings rolling forward. They may just crash into these Thors, but they're not trading too efficiently. But the Terran army was thinned out enough for Reynor to repel this. The Muta's going to start picking off Medivacs. The Medivacs, though, do all mainly escape, and they are so in the red there. If we take a look at that, just so many red Medivacs. If Reynor could pick all those off, it would be a huge win for him. But still, Reynor, he kept his third base alive. He reestablished his fifth base, or has been rebuilding his fifth base, seeing as how he lost this one. So making sure that his economy doesn't get slowed down too much. He's now going to move across the map with these mutas, potentially pick off the turret at the fourth base, kill a lot of SCVs. INnoVation's throwing up more turrets because he knows of this vulnerability, but Reynor is ahead of these turrets getting built and is going to get more and more SCV kills. You got to be careful as Reynor not to lose these mutas. I don't know if he can afford to replace these at this stage in the game. INnoVation, though, he hasn't been able to kill Reynor yet, despite all his efforts. He's been attacking non-stop over and over again. He, however, is also still keeping his economy going, securing up a fifth base, and this isn't like some super Terran all-in. INnoVation has built a new fifth command center. It's not like he's floated over his main, so his economy is still quite good. He's got grounds to keep this game going. However, he would like to kill Reynor sooner rather than later. 3-3 is done for INnoVation too, so his bioforces are quite scary, as the players are going to be approaching maxed out, since the game has had a bit of a slowdown. INnoVation has a ton of Medivacs too, though. Look at this. Oh, you got to be careful, Reynor. Don't lose those mutas. But yeah, look at all these injured Medivacs. INnoVation has 13 Medivacs. That's a huge chunk of his supply, actually. We take a look here. Oh, Widowmine, great connection there for INnoVation. Picks off a lot of Banelings. Looks like a Marine hitting the sixth base of Reynor as he reestablishes this location. Reynor also getting up an infestation pit. This will allow him to go to Hive, potentially get Ultras, potentially get 3-3. Getting 3-3 for his Lings and getting Adrenal Glands would be a huge equalizer. It is one of my main concerns. Oh, look at that, those Queens. They pop off 3 Medivacs for INnoVation. That is not a pretty sight for the Terran. We see Reynor defending on multiple fronts right now. Having to deal with the Widowmines, Thors on the high ground while INnoVation is attacking this base down to the south. INnoVation doing a very good job splitting up. And after this last game I cast of INnoVation, I think it was versus Dark or versus Rogue, we see he is willing to just attack everywhere with his bio, and that's what he's doing right now. It's kind of a new type of bio play, dare I say, because bio used to be so focused on the one big push to, say, deny the fourth base or something like that, or go for a kill move. But right now, INnoVation has just been hitting Reynor everywhere. He just killed the fifth base. He knocked Reynor off his other base that he was building. So taking out both of those is a massive win for INnoVation, who still has a great economy behind this to keep this going. INnoVation just trading out non-stop with bio and doing a darn good job of it. Reynor has been really knocked down on his economy. He hasn't been able to get enough damage done to INnoVation to buy him time to breathe. Like INnoVation, he's got this fresh base here. This base is still pretty fresh at this location. It's actually starting to mine out a bit, but then he just established this base in the bottom left. So I am very concerned here for Reynor because of that. Azurg losing both of his main bases, or both of his main mining bases, is not something that you can easily recover from in a game which you're constantly trading like this. It looks like Reynor may be taking a big fight. There's so many Widowmines, though, for INnoVation, just forcing Reynor to take bad trades. We see the Mutas are trying to get some damage done on INnoVation's side of the map, and you really got to respect Reynor for trying to do that. But as we take a look right now, INnoVation, he's looking to push on in. He's looking to deny the third base, which is researching Burrow. That's a sign of a desperate Zerg at this stage. Reynor was hoping to get some Baneling landmines, but while the Mutas are dealing damage to INnoVation's economy, the push is just continuing on, and Reynor doesn't really have the economy anymore to replace this. The Mutas are flying over the Marines, which is not a good thing for Reynor. And I'm a little bit concerned here for Reynor. Maybe he can take a fight when INnoVation's army is split up. It is rather split up right now, but with 10 more drones going down, I'm not actually sure where that was. I'm guessing just here. It's looking rather dicey here for Reynor. The Widowmines are really getting detonated here, so good job for Reynor for that. He's a very good player at doing that. We see INnoVation's army really be on this ramp, but the bio pulls back. Banelings are crashing forward, but mainly into the Thor there, which does an expert job body blocking that. Reynor's supply is starting to fall. He doesn't really have the economy to replace this. He's down to 120 supply, whereas INnoVation is still just macroing up non-stop. The mutas are getting shredded by the +3 Marines, and we see INnoVation with Thors, with Marauders. He's done a really good job not taking big baneling connections, has a great unit composition here, picking out the right army, and INnoVation takes game number 1. What a first match, ladies and gentlemen. That was match number 1 of this best of 3. Man, that should have been the last one, but yeah, I'll load into the next one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, after a crazy game number 1, we have got INnoVation going to be taking on Reynor once more. Reynor in the top right-hand side of the map, and INnoVation in the bottom left-hand side of the map. Both these players are just so good at Starcraft 2, and oh man, INnoVation is going to be proxying this game. This is the Korean Terran in a nutshell. They can do like a 20-minute long macro game if they want to, or if they have to. But then at the same time, they'll also just kill you with a proxy if they can get away with it. So we see INnoVation, he's moving across the map. Is he going to be throwing up his proxy barracks right here at the watchtower? No. INnoVation, this is so greedy. Look at this. This barracks is like right in path of where Reynor is going to scout, I feel. Or is he going to redirect the Overlord? It's going to be so close. But it looks like Reynor, yes, he does scout it. Oh, just the last second that Overlord scouts that barracks. So MVP Overlord there. Reynor knows that he's getting proxy barracks here, something that every Zerg is aware of. INnoVation is sending more SCVs because he knows it was scouted, and he knows he's going to have to live or die by these barracks. But Reynor knowing about this is already a huge deal. We see drones setting to work on the SCVs. If one of the barracks doesn't even finish up, it's just going to be lights out, I feel, here for INnoVation. It looks like one of the barracks will finish up, which is good news for the Terran player. You can start making that Marine, which will be a huge help. SCV is going to start skirmishing with these drones. INnoVation pulling back the injured one, but loses one already. He's keeping the drones busy. The spawning pool is on the way, though, for Reynor. It's a little bit delayed, I actually feel. Maybe because Reynor pulled so many drones or something, but that spawning pool is on the way. I guess it is reasonably timed. We take a look here. INnoVation lost 3 SCVs, but he will get both these barracks up, so at least he's going to have the Marine production. All the while, yeah, we take a look here. It's just a Terran who's had his proxy scouted. Reynor knows about this. He's not going to be making any more drones. It's just going to be Lings and Queens, maybe a Spine on the way too. Let's see, is there a Spine? No, but Reynor is scouting out to see that INnoVation is still committing to this. The bunker is on the way for INnoVation. He has got some gumption to go for an attack like this again. Or just to go for this in the face of Reynor, who knew this was coming. But I feel like this is going to be a tough play to make happen for INnoVation as we take a look. The Marines are going to kite back against the Lings. The bunkers, though, are undoubtedly going to be canceled indefinitely. Just like a lot of things these days. The Marines, they don't have any SCVs or any bunkers to help them out. And just Marines can't cut it against a Zerg who's going to have tanky Queens and Lings to flood those Marines. I mean, the bunkers are still kind of acting as a bit of a ghetto wall here for INnoVation, but yeah, the Queens will cancel those. INnoVation is going to have to try and transition out of this, but I'm not sure if he can. He didn't really have a gas going behind this, and oh my gosh, he's actually just pulling all the SCVs. INnoVation feels very far behind right now, and he's actually just going to go big or go home. We'll see. I get the feeling he's going to be going home, because when there's SCVs being pulled across the map desperately like this, it is not a good sign for the Terran. But INnoVation, he's going to give it the good old try. Other Zergs might have been super greedy in this spot and just gone back to droning because they figured they held it, but no. Reynor, he built a Spine Crawler, which is just incredibly effective against a Terran with just Marines. The SCVs are going to be good body blockers. The Spine is still repositioning, so getting this is a big deal for INnoVation. Is there a transfuse for it? That's the question. It looks like the SCVs do go down pretty quickly. Drones are pulled for Reynor. The Spine does fall. Most of the Lings are gone. INnoVation is actually going to be trading out pretty well here, but the Queens are still pretty darn tanky, and we see Reynor, he's making 12 more Lings. It was a close attack for INnoVation, but in the end, I think the Zerg has got to win out, right? Yeah, another Queen coming down, more Lings coming out. Reynor just needs to trade acceptably at worst, and he should still hold this. It takes a lot of Marines without Stim to actually bring down a Queen. so the queen trade's alright. There's 3 Marines left for INnoVation, and they just don't have the damage potential here, I feel, to kill Reynor. I mean, there's 4 Marines, and maybe they can, and Overlord gets picked off. A lot of Queens have died, and Reynor hasn't been mining much, so he actually has to pull some of his remaining drones once again. So INnoVation, oh my gosh, is he actually going to make this work? No, there's no way. There's too many Lings getting made here for Reynor. There has to be, right? I mean, there's a lot of dead drones and a lot of dead Lings, but INnoVation is only at 3 SCVs right now to the 12 drones of Reynor, which is quite a larger number, 400% more than what the Terran has, and it looks like INnoVation will have to tap out here. I mean, he could rally a Marine behind this maybe, but no, he just taps out, and we are going into an ace match here between these 2 players. Here we be in game number 3. I didn't even intend for that to rhyme, so I apologize, but it's INnoVation taking on Reynor. Both these players are such good players, and I'd honestly, like, if I had to pick who'd win in a match between these 2, I haven't a clue. I'd never be able to bet. And by the way, gosh, their APM. I don't know if you guys were just checking that out. Reynor was up to like 1,300 for a second there. All the while INnoVation just cruising at a casual altitude of like 600. So, man, these guys have some pretty insane APM. According to INnoVation, it takes a lot of energy here to proxy barracks. A lot of APM to proxy barracks Reynor. Someone as good as Reynor, anyway. Everyone knows that Starcraft is just kind of like Dragon Ball Z or like Harry Potter or something, in which they're like Kamehamehaing or pointing their wands at each other and just trying to go as hard as they can. And whoever has the biggest APM wins out in the end. I hope some of you guys understood what I was getting at there. But anyway, yeah, Golden Wall. It's a bit of a wonky map. I've watched a lot of matches on it, but personally I haven't cast a lot. I think it's probably one which gets vetoed a bit, but it's kind of odd and kind of up in the air enough that players aren't really sure what race is good for just yet. But INnoVation is like, I can proxy on that map. I can proxy on anything. And so that's what he's going to do. Does Reynor know about this yet? I'm not sure he does. He's making drones still. There we go. He sees an SCV, so he's probably aware of this now. There we go. He sees a Marine in an SCV, so he's definitely aware of this. But yeah, INnoVation. Cheeky guy going for a proxy barracks once again. One bunker is getting on up right now. The Marines are going to be able to start kiting these drones. Reynor has already pulled a large amount of drones right now. If we take a look, he's only mining with a handful back there. So he really needs to deny these bunkers. Otherwise, he pulled all these drones for nothing. And if we take a look right now, yeah, this is looking pretty darn bad here for Reynor. He's having to pull the drones. I mean, no, the bunker got up. This is terrible news here for Reynor. INnoVation is just going to be able to load on into this bunker, which is now kind of unbreakable with just drones. You need a critical mass of Lings or Spines or Queens to break down a bunker. So Reynor, he's just going to have to sit tight. However, his hatchery is in range. INnoVation is building yet another bunker, which is just going to double the strength of this. And I am concerned here for Reynor right now. It looks like he might just be trying to break this, and he is. He's got a lot of Lings with this, but pulling drones against bunkers is never a good spot. I guess INnoVation or Reynor figures better now than never, and it looks like he did actually break this location at the expense of 5 drones. He did cancel one of the bunkers. Or he did kill one of the bunkers. The other has been delayed seemingly indefinitely here. So this might be all that Reynor needs, a Queen and some Lings. If he can actually kill this bunker, that would give him peace of mind. Is INnoVation sending another SCV? Of course he is. He's INnoVation, so he is sending another SCV. And this bunker could potentially get up here. And that would be horrible news for Reynor. That SCV is being pushed back, though. Reynor even transfusing Lings there amidst the chaos. He's trying to push INnoVation back as far as he can. However, it looks like this bunker is going to get up. There's really no Lings to kill it. The SCV is so injured. Can the Queen focus it down? Yes, it can. So the bunker not getting up just yet. It gets canceled by INnoVation. And Reynor, did he hold that attack? My gosh, that was a crazy situation. But I think Reynor just held that attack. Barracks are floating either direction. Now no more Marines are being made. Reynor just barely held that. However, still a little bit on edge. Reynor making 4 more Lings, when in reality, he needs to be pumping out drones or something. Because INnoVation, is just going to be doing that standard Terran thing, which you're like, I just went for a total committed rush. I'm just going to happily macro out of it and float my buildings back, because that's what Terran does, and I'm sure it's very, very infuriating for the other races. INnoVation has a lot of minerals, so he's going double CC, the standard follow-up to this kind of thing. Reynor is making another queen, but he isn't firing out a lot of drones just yet. Like, we need to see Reynor go ham on drones. Yeah, it's really a tough call to make, but I guess Reynor still figured maybe the attack was going to keep on going. However, now he's got a few more lings than he probably wanted, and essentially INnoVation is just going to macro out of this. INnoVation actually in the lead on workers, whereas Reynor doesn't have a lot going for him. The queen slowly working away on this barracks, but yeah. Maybe Reynor can take a third base soon. Instead, he's actually just going to go for a lair, which is kind of curious. He's going to be killing his floating barracks off as Reynor's starting to produce a lair, but man, this is a low eco lair play for Reynor. It's got to be like a Nidus or something, right? I definitely don't think that it can be a Spire on an economy this low. I mean, you can do some pretty low eco stuff in Starcraft too, but this low of an economy, I don't think you can make a Spire or anything work. It's just got to be like Roaches, and hope that Roaches and that INnoVation doesn't have that much out. So we'll see if that's going to be the case. An Overlord just parking there for INnoVation or for Reynor, but the question is another Overlord going to move in to potentially call in a Nidus if we see one get made? There's a lair about to be done. Reynor has taken 2 gases, so it's either just got to be a Ling Nidus, or it's just got to be a Ling Queen Nidus, or there's got to be a Roach Warren and a Nidus going up. Now it looks like a Spine is getting made for Reynor, which is really bizarre. I feel like, is he worried about like Hellions or something? I'm kind of confused what the Spine Crawler's for. A Spire's on the way now, but this feels a bit far-fetched unless Reynor actually saw the fusion core. Like, I was thinking like a Roach Nidus all-in or something, as INnoVation hasn't necessarily been scouting too much. So you never know. Maybe that's what Reynor should have gone for, but as of now, INnoVation's actually making 2 BCs. I didn't even realize this. INnoVation just casually going for a double BC rush against Reynor, and this is bad news bears for a Zerg. If you think being on a low economy and trying to defend 1 BC is bad, try 2. BCs actually scale incredibly well against queens. Like 1, 2 BCs, they can be defended against queens and spores pretty easily. 3, it becomes quite problematic. 4, it's just like they just really can't do it. So by the time 2 rounds of battle cruisers are produced for INnoVation, Reynor will just be like dead. And Overseer comes on in to scout this out, but there's already 1 BC out. There's going to be a second out. Has Reynor even spotted the second's production? No, he hasn't, so he thinks it's just going to be a single battle cruiser rush. I'm curious, is he going to make Corruptors? Is he going to make Mutas? It looks like it's going to be Mutas, but I darn sure bet if Reynor knew that it was just going to be the 1 or the 2 BC play, that Reynor would be making Corruptors right now, not Mutas, because the Mutas do not have the muscle to fight off 2 battle cruisers, and here they are. The Queens can try and get in position. Reynor's like, the 1 BC. Wait, no, it's actually 2. So the Queens have to back off. There's no spores. Mutas are about to pop out, but I honestly think INnoVation could just be about to kill Reynor. It's just like, checkmate. Here's my 2 BCs. You didn't make Corruptors. And I honestly think, this is just going to be like Reynor dead. He's making more Mutas. He's firing up a Spore now, but that is too little, too late. I guess INnoVation did just get enough done with the proxy. Reynor didn't start churning out drones quick enough. The Terran drops the Mule, not to be Manor, but to repair the battle cruiser. Hellions coming in. It was kind of a bait to get the Lings out there, and now there's really not much to contest the Hellions. The BCs are still enough of a threat right now. Even the Marines coming across the map for INnoVation. The slow Marines from the original rush. And ladies and gentlemen, I think this is going to be it. Like, Reynor is so dead. GG. INnoVation takes down Reynor 2-1 in a great TvZ series. What a match between these two. Slap that like button, ladies and gentlemen. 100 likes is the goal for these videos. I know it's ambitious, but you guys actually kill it with the like goals on this channel, because like we actually get like, I think someone said it was like a 1 to 10 it's like a 1 to 10 or like a 1 to 12 like to viewer ratio, which is better than a lot of big YouTubers get, which is awesome. So you guys are the best for doing that, and I'll see you next time. This has been LaughNgamez. Thanks for watching.